Hey friends, I'm Rob Franek. I'm editor-in-chief here at the Princeton Review, and today's topic has been on the mind of lots of Princeton reviewers, so we thought it might be interesting to tackle it with you today. We are talking today about COVID-19, the pandemic, and why it could make it easier as well as harder to get into college. So let's explain, and let's first tackle why college admission could be easier, especially right now. So if you are currently a high school senior, you may have a slightly better chance of getting into your dream school if you were waitlisted. But why? How could this possibly be true? The simple fact is that some students are considering deferring enrollment for an entire academic year or attending a school, a college or university closer to their home for health and safety reasons due to COVID-19 and its repercussions. Now, what we've been hearing anecdotally is that schools may accept more students off of their wait list than they typically would. So if there's a school that you really want to attend and you've been waitlisted there, folks, write to them, reach out to them right now, express your interest, demonstrate why you'd be a colossally good fit for them. The admission teams at those schools may well admit you. Now, further helping your case, it's important to note that overall, the admission at the most competitive schools were slightly less competitive this year, even before the COVID-19 pandemic threw the entire world off kilter. Some quick examples to underscore our point. Harvard had the first acceptance rate increase in 6 years. MIT plus 4 additional Ivies also reported increases. At the same time, 6 out of the 8 Ivies had decreases in the total number of applications for the class of 2024, meaning that admission were ever so slightly less competitive at those ultra competitive schools. Now, add to that the fact that students may well be looking to defer their enrollment by a year, and you may find that spots in the class of 2024 could be easier to get than they would otherwise have been, provided that you're not one of those students looking to defer their enrollment. Now, let's say you're not currently a senior. Let's say you're a junior or a sophomore or a freshman. It may still be easier to get into college when you apply. Now, there are a few reasons to consider for this particular point. Number one, your extracurricular activities may well be canceled, so you have fewer things on your plate, and you may be able to devote your full attention to classes and to exams. Now, to the greatest extent possible, you should still pursue your hobbies, those things that you love that matter personally to you. Practice your instruments, create works of art, and drill your skills. We published an entire video just last week about how to volunteer remotely using just your computer and your brain. And some of those opportunities, folks, were genuinely fabulous. But they won't require that you devote 3+ hours a day to them as you might a sport or a theater if you were in school in a face-to-face environment. Now, if you have the extra time, you can use it to excel in areas for lack of other opportunities that may disproportionately be of value from your admission application. I mean specifically your grades and your test scores. Now that leads me to my second point. Number 2, if you've had things come off of your plate, you may be able to add other things to your plate. So take the harder classes if you're deciding between 2 levels. Consider taking the SAT or the ACT even if your dream school is test optional. Unless a school is test blind, meaning that it won't consider test score, and very, very few schools are test blind, then a strong SAT and a strong ACT score can help you set yourself apart in both admission as well as financial aid. Number 3, remember that you won't be penalized if your classes went online or if your grades went pass-fail this semester. Now, a quick note about pass-fail. If you can take your classes and you can earn a letter grade, then try to do just that and try to aim to get the best grade possible. Friends, don't spend not even a minute stressing out about things that are out of your control. Colleges really do get the repercussions of the COVID pandemic. What they want to see is that you can make the most of opportunities and those opportunities that are available to you right now. Your resourcefulness, when things aren't usual, will reveal a whole lot more about your abilities, your raw abilities, than following a simple recipe for success during typical times. Now that we've just talked about how college admission will be easier, we need to cover the ways in which it'll be harder. Number one on that list, and this is specifically for juniors. If a lot of seniors defer their enrollment this year, and if they then seek enrollment for the class of 2025, that's your future college class, then you may find that competition for you is going to be more intense, because you'd be competing not only with just your fellow juniors for fewer spots, the slots also unoccupied by this year's seniors who will be starting college alongside this year's juniors. So this may sound dire, but it really isn't. So for starters, if the class of 2024, the cohort itself, is smaller than usual, then colleges may make the class of 2025 cohort that much larger. Schools may also consider offering later admission to some students, meaning that if you're accepted, you might enroll in the spring or for the following fall term. Folks, you'll want to take advantage of all of the opportunities currently available to you to ensure that you're as competitive a candidate as possible. Which leads me to my second point. Number two on this list, there may not be much financial aid to go around. Again, this will vary from schools to school, but the truth is, it is worth noting that many schools won't have as much by way of funds that they typically do. So you may have less wiggle room when you appeal your financial aid award, and a harder time getting a larger financial aid award at the beginning, at least at some schools. Making yourself as competitive a candidate as possible will be key to ensuring that you get all of the resources that you need. And number three, at some schools, they are going test optional. You may feel like you have fewer ways to stand out, and our advice to you is simple and clear at the Princeton Review. Take the SAT and the ACT if you can. You've got the time now to prep, and both exams will be offered this fall, even if they need to be offered remotely. Do the volunteering, the online volunteering that I mentioned earlier. Really work on your college essays. Folks, it's never too early to start noodling on a college essay topic. In essence, folks, do every single thing within your control to distinguish yourself. Colleges will take note, and they will appreciate your efforts and, of course, your hard work. Now, before I go, I want to make sure that I share with you one last secret about how to boost your admission chances. Going forward, we predict at the Princeton Review that fit will be more important this year than ever. But what is fit? Fit, folks, is the glorious constellation of factors that make you right for a school and a school right for you. It's everything from campus location to culture and values to the academic strengths of a particular school to the way in which colleges distinguish themselves from other schools. You can find fit and not just seek to apply to the same handful of schools that every one of your classmates always applies to. And then you'll have an easier time demonstrating your interest and making a case for your candidacy, and therefore gaining admission to that school. To get started, you can check out our free customizable college search tool, and then go on a virtual campus tour and talk to current students and spend time reflecting on what really matters most to you. Friends, if it seems like you or we or everything is just stuck right now, well, we are stuck, but the best way to get unstuck is to identify things that matter to you and then pursue them with the greatest moxie ever. And you can certainly check out our College Admission 101 learning playlist to get more strategies for gaining admission to your dream school. And subscribe to our channel if you're looking to hear the latest updates about how COVID-19 is affecting exams and admission and a lot more. Of course, folks, I'm Rob Franek here at the Princeton Review, Editor-in-Chief. Best of luck, and I'll be back with you again tomorrow.